completing 11 of 17 for 189 yards.
And also a touchdown. That touchdown was a little controversial, from at least the point of view that we were looking at it, but I was told that they were having a lot of problems with their offense. A couple of times they had to call timeout, but that offensive unit of the Denver Broncos is moving the world champion Oakland Raiders, and they're moving that football. 189 yards already for Morton.
I think the key to the first half has to be the offensive line of the Denver Broncos.
Well, you said it prior to, in the pregame show, that it is an underrated offensive line. They have some people there that have been doing a fine job, and they're putting it all together. They're there together for the first time so far this year. They're good today. They look like they should get better as the season goes along.
Now, what about the Oakland Raiders?
Well, the Oakland Raiders are the type of team that, you know, you can't go to sleep on them, because you know that if you do, they're going to unload on you. They can hit you in a hurry.
All right, it's halftime here at Mile High Stadium in Denver. NFL 81 halftime activities will continue in a moment, and we'll be right back with Brian Gumbel after these messages from your local station.
Friday. 81 Studios in New York. I'm Brian Gumbel. This is week number 1, and we are working our way through a big doubleheader day on NBC. We've still got a half of football to come, but right now let's try to get you caught up on just what is happening around this league as we start the 62nd season in NFL history. Kansas City against Pittsburgh. Let's start it off with an upset. Some people say the Chiefs have the best young talent in the AFC. Certainly you could prove it by the Steelers. Today the Chiefs are winner over the Steelers 37-33. Pittsburgh turned the ball over a very unchampion-like 7 times. Bill Kenny, starting quarterback for the Chiefs. Look at this. Up top to Henry Marshall. 48-yard score. The Chiefs had things very much thrown away in the early going. Led 7-6, led 13-12. This is Franco rushing it in from 7 yards out. Good lead block by Larry Brown. How many times have you seen this sack? Terry Bradshaw, 319 yards in the day. Touchdown strike here to Jim Smith. But it was Bradshaw's miscue in the end that forced the difference in the game. It was 33-30 Pittsburgh when he fumbled. Thomas Howard recovered, ran it back 65 yards for the touchdown. The Chiefs were able to run out the clock, and the Chiefs caught the winner over the Pittsburgh Steelers 37-33. The Chiefs' first win in Pittsburgh since 1970. Baltimore against New England. What a hot club the Colts could be. They have the makings of a great offensive backfield in Burt Jones, Randy McMillan, and Curtis Dickey. Today they flashed it all up in Foxborough. They turned back the New England Patriots' final score there, 29-28. Curtis Dickey got things started here, a 20-yard run. This would take Baltimore to a 10-0 lead. Dickey on the day had 69 yards. It wasn't until the second period Patriots were able to get on the board on the option pass. Steve Grogan to Andy Johnson, looking and finding Mosi Tutupu, touchdown. But then Grogan up top one more time, Carlos Pennywell. This put the Patriots ahead momentarily, 14-13, but Randy McMillan's 3-yard run was the difference, and he was the difference in the game. The rookie out of Pitt, look at those numbers. 16 carries, 146 yards, 2 touchdowns for McMillan. Colts a winner, 29-28. Don Shula has now won 12 straight against NFC foes. Today, his Dolphins, a winner over the Cardinals. Final in that ball game was 20-7. Young David Woodley, second-year quarterback for Shula out of LSU, threw 2 touchdown strikes, both of them to Jimmy Cefalo. Early on in the ball game, watch this one. Up top goes Woodley into the corner. He finds Cefalo, touchdown. And then Woodley one more time, this one for 47 yards to Cefalo, also good. They were leading 20-0 late in the ball game. It wasn't until late the Cardinals were able to get on the board. Otis Anderson from a yard out. Final score, 20-7. The Dolphins were 4-0 in the preseason. They start the regular season also with a win. Cincinnati and Seattle. Which Bengals team would you like to talk about? The one that fell behind 21-0 or the one that came back to win this ball game 27-21? Well, let us tell you. The one that fell behind 21-0 was directed by that man, Kenny Anderson. But the one that came back to win it 27-21 was led by a young man named Turk Schonert out of Stanford. Early on in the ball game, though, Jim Zorn up top, 36-yard touchdown pass. Steve Largent. The Seahawks had things very much their own way before the Ohio State Brigade came out. Pete Johnson had 2 scoring thrusts. Archie Griffin won. The old backfield mates did their number for the Bengals. Johnson topped it off when he went over from 2 yards out, made Cincy a winner. Final in that ball game at Riverfront was 27-21. Philadelphia against the Giants. They keep on saying the Giants are going to arrive. Question is, when? They were one of only 4 teams to go through the 70s without making the playoffs. Now they're trying their hand at the 80s. Eagles a winner today over the Giants. Final 24-10. Ray Perkins. This club is taxing his patience. Now 12 straight times they have failed to beat the Eagles. Early on, Perry Harrington, 1-yard plunge over the top. And then Jaworski, a bomb to Rodney Parker, touchdown. Down the sidelines, made it 17-3. By the time Wilbert Montgomery went in, it was all over but the shouting. 24-3. This one looks good only in the box score. Phil Simms, sideline pass to Leon Perry, 19-yard strike, but the issue had long since been decided. Final score of that ball game, Eagles, a winner over the Giants by a score of 24-10. The Dallas Cowboys haven't lost an opening day game, let's see, 17 years now. Today they went down to Washington, D.C., and they turned back the Redskins. Final in that ball game was 26-10. It spoiled the coaching debut of Redskin mentor Joe Gibbs. But does Landry have his team ready? By a score of 26-10. The team with the best record in the league last year met the team with the worst, and the expected outcome did in fact happen. The Falcons, a win over the Saints, 27-0. Steve Bartkowski, 3 touchdown passes. Detroit turned back San Francisco. Good ball game, though, 24-17. Rookie of the year last year, Billy Sims had just 59 yards rushing. In the 124th meeting, the Green Bay Packers beat the Chicago Bears 16-9 and held Walter Payton at just 81 yards. It was a scoring splurge for those two clubs. Last year, their 2 games resulted in scores of 12-6 and 6-3. 16-9, big numbers for those two. Those are the finals. These games are still in progress. Out at Mile High Stadium, Denver is out in front of Oakland by a score of 9-7. Touchdowns there, Plunkett to Chester and Morton to Rick Upchurch. L.A. is out in front of Houston by a score of 17-6. Wendell Tyler, a 67-yard score after catching a pass from Pat Hayden in that ball game. And up in Buffalo, the Bills, opening defense of their Eastern Division crown in the AFC, are now out in front of the Jets by a score of 10-0. Ferguson to Cribbs, the lone touchdown in that ball game. This 1981 National Football League game is brought to you by Schlitz, the Master Brewer's Brew. Just one taste and you'll know behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer. By the new Chrysler Corporation and your Dodge and Chrysler Plymouth dealers, we're coming back strong with the cars and the value America wants. By Fram, makers of oil, air, and fuel filters, windshield wipers, and Autolite spark plugs. And by the new Polaroid sun cameras. You've never been so sure of an instant picture. For those of you who may have had to leave us for your local news, I'm Brian Gumbel. Welcome back to our NFL 81 studios. Very briefly now, before we go back for a second half, let's get you caught up on all the scores from around the league. First, the
goes down in front of the Oakland Raiders, the defending Super Bowl champions, by a score of 9-7. And a controversial touchdown play by the Denver Broncos. The pass from Craig Morton to Rick Upchurch covered 44 yards.
What did the last half step? Was that last foot inbounds or was it out of bounds? Here is the catch. One foot is down. The other one has to be inbounds. To me, it looks like he's out of bounds.
You have to have control of the football and then 2 feet inbounds. You watch the feet, I'll call for control. Control. Whoa.
Well, I see a lot of white right there. Looks
Awful
like
lot of white.
that was one big play, but so far, Denver has been dominating this football game. You know, in total yardage, they have 242 yards to Oakland's 72 yards. I know that Danny Reeves, the head coach of Denver, says what we can't afford to do is have our defense out there on the field for some 80 plays. Well, it's turned things right around. So far in first half, Denver's had it 40 plays, Oakland 21.
And Steinford kicks off for the Broncos, 5 yards deep in the end zone. This is Barnwell on the return. Flag is down. He's to the 30, to the 35-yard line. 2 markers were dropped, one at the 15 and one at the 20-yard line. Clipping is a preliminary call, so you'll nullify most of that return. And now let's look again at the statistics.
You can just take a look at it, every one of them. 14 first downs to 6, all the way down to time of possession.
The bottom line. 20 minutes to 10 minutes.
To 10 minutes. Twice as much for Denver. When that happens, you're putting your defense out there. You're subjecting them to stopping the opposition. And looking at those stats, Oakland should be happy that it's only a 9-7 ball game.
52 on the run back.
Blocking below the waist on the run back. The call on Mario Salato. So Oakland now, from their own 8-yard line, has a first down. Jim Plunkett, the quarterback, with King and Van Eegen, the running backs. Chandler and Branch, the wide receivers. Chester, the tight end. Shell, Upshaw, Dalby, Marvin, and Lawrence at offensive line. Van Eegen. Couple of yards. It'll be second down 8. The defense for the Broncos, Barney Chavis, Reuben Carter, and Rulon Jones, the front three. The linebackers are Swinson, Evans, Bradishar, and Jackson. At left corner is Perry Smith. Louis Wright is out, will not return. Rick Upchurch also will not return in the ballgame. Right corner is Aaron Kyle. The safeties are Billy Thompson and Steve Foley.
This is a physical football game, Charlie. You can see the number of players that have been banged around, but you take a look at that offensive line and that defensive line out there. They are battling.
Second and 8. Van Egan. Rulon Jones makes the tackle, 16-yard line.
Doesn't seem strange, does it, that Oakland would go to their left side over number 78, Art Shell, 63, Upshaw. 78 is Shell, working against Rulon Jones, the young defensive end. Gets enough of him, makes him spin out. He eventually gets involved in the tackle, but it was a good block by Art Shell.
Third down and 2. Branch wide to the near side. Chandler wide far side. Kenny King. Bradishar stops it. It'll be fourth down. Randy Gradishar. Craig Morton on the sideline.
I said to the left side, taking a look at it, number 63 is Upshaw, making a block on Jackson. He buries him, but Gradishar is the man. Van Egan was trying to get the block on him. He wasn't able to do it. He grabbed him up high and took him on back, not getting him the first down.
Ray Guy will be kicking. His average in the first half, 3 punts, 58.6 yards. 58.6. Wade Manning is set for the return for the Broncos. Oh, this is even better than the best. 15-yard line. 30, flag is down. 35, 40, 50. 2 flags are down. 32-yard line of Oakland.
Bring it on back, because there was a play where a Denver Bronco hit a man from behind. They're going to bring that play back.
There was also a flag dropped on the far side of the 45-yard. A 68-yard punt, and this is a 52-yard return.
Wade Manning, an outstanding run on this play. Look at all the people that have an opportunity to make the tackle on him. He's breaking all of those tackles. Determined to go on now to wants a touchdown.
The flag on the left was dropped in the 25-yard line. Illegal use of hands against the Denver Broncos. There was also a flag far side at the 45-yard line.
You cannot go up the backside of a player, and that's what happened on that particular play. For a man that's blocking for the return man, if there's any question whatsoever,
It's a ball foul. Illegal use of the hands. Number 43 on the return is declined. Illegal block above the waist. Number 53 on the return is accepted. First down.
So they caught Foley and Gradishar both. And we've got a timeout. 12:23 left to go, third quarter. Denver has the lead, 9-7. When we come back, the Broncos on offense at their own 15-yard line.
Behind it.
So they caught Foley. First down play.
first down plays, Denver's had 16, Oakland 10. The more first down plays that you have, the better chance you have of moving the ball and scoring. It's as simple as that.
Denver now with their own 15-yard line, first down. Avon Moses in motion. Rick Farrow. No gain, second and 10. Denver going with Dave Preston, Rick Farrow as the running backs. Craig Morton is the quarterback. Avon Moses and Steve Watson the wide receivers. Riley Odom is the tight end.
Trying to cut back. Matuzak is there, but also right there, number 83, Ted Hendricks. The man, I think, who really made that defense move and go for the Oakland Raiders last year. Did a tremendous job in his 14th year.
Tony Reed checks into the backfield. That offensive line, Dave Studdard, Tom Glassick, Willie Bryant, Paul Howard, Claudie Minor. Second and 10. tackle. That defense of the Raiders has John Matusak, Johnny Robinson, and Dave Browning as the front three. Richie Kidlaw, a knee problem, has not played in the game. Ted Hendricks, Randy McClanahan, Matt Mellon, and Rod Martin, the linebackers. Lester Hayes and Dwayne Osteen on the corners. Mike Davis and Burgess Doris at the safety.
Third quarter score, Los Angeles still leading Houston by a score of 17-6. That's third period.
Third down and 2, 3 tight ends in the ball game for the Broncos.
Ball is
Fumble.
Oakland got it.
Oakland has the ball at the Denver 31-yard line. That is the first fumble of the ball game.
McClanahan.
At the Broncos 31-yard line.
Randy McClanahan with the fumble recovery. And a big break for the Oakland Raiders.
Short yardage situation. 3 tight ends in the ball game. The handoff coming through there. He never really had control of the football. Bounces forward. When that happens, there's going to be defensive men all around. 57 Randy McClanahan was there for a big break for the Oakland Raiders. Now, we're talking about statistics, Charlie, and everything is in favor of Denver, but that can all change in a hurry. 17-0. Buffalo leading the Jets. Third quarter.
And it was Rick Peros of the Broncos who fumbled. So Oakland has the ball at the Denver 31. Mark Van Egan. A gain of 3 to the 28. It'll be second down and 7 as Dom Jackson and Reuben Carter make the tackle. Don Flores, head coach of the Oakland Raiders, on the left.
Never appears to be too excited outward.
But like so many, he takes the medication for the stomach ulcers. Second and 7. Greg Boyd comes into the defensive set.
4 down linemen. They're going to hope to put some pressure on Plunkett because they're looking for a pass.
Chandler wide to the right. Cliff Branch wide to the left. Plunkett to throw. Has time. Pass is complete. Goes to his tight end, Raymond Chester. Chester, who has caught the Raiders' only touchdown pass.
25.
Raymond Chester got that pass, but Plunkett was looking downfield. He's looking to go to Cliff Branch or Kenny King downfield. They were covered, so he went to his third receiver, which is Raymond Chester, number 88, makes the reception. It is short of the first down. Number 77, Boyd, who has one of the sacks today. 63 is Upshaw. He's allowed to use his hands. Not supposed to pinch the jersey. Did a good job of keeping him away from his quarterback.
Bradshaw and Ramsey are in the offense's third down 4. Plunkett has pressure. He is back. They will throw the play dead at the 31-yard line. You can forget the chase of the football. Third sack for the Denver Broncos, and Randy Gradishaw got this one.
The difference between putting the heat or not. 53, Gradishaw coming in. Boyd also coming in. And you see they're all converging. Finally, number 79 is Barney Chavis, who actually grabs him and brings him down. But it was the pressure applied by Boyd and Randy Gradishaw that forced him up, gave Chavis an opportunity to make the tackle. Third sack for the Denver Broncos.
And the reason it was not ruled a fumble, he had possession when his elbow hit the ground, and that makes the play dead. Then the ball bounced loose. That's the reason you could forget Derek Jensen's chase of the football. Ray Guy at the 40-yard line holding for Chris Barr. An attempt at 50 yards. No, it goes to Barr, and he is just punching it towards the Coffin corner, and he misses it. Goes into the end zone for the touchback.
He was trying to get to the Coffin corner.
And the reason for the setup and the change, I assume, is so they wouldn't want anybody back here to try and catch it. All right, we've got a timeout, and Denver has the football. When we come back, they'll be at the 20-yard line.
If you live in the city where cards...
In this game, you can come back to the time of 9:06 left to go, third quarter, and their defensive stand.
Right, they picked up a fumble on the 31-yard line, ended up punting the ball from the 32. The defense of the Broncos did a great job there.
Denver now from their own 20-yard line, first down. It is Denver 9 and Oakland 7. Jumping to the outside is Peros. And and he'll get about 3 yards. Now, Rick Peros was the man who fumbled for the Denver Broncos. The first time they have offensive possession, they call his number again.
That's a good thing to do because that gets his confidence back where he's not going to have to worry about it. All right, Houston got on the board in the third quarter, but Los Angeles still leading the Oilers by a score of 17-13. That's the third quarter.
Second down and 7, Denver, their own 23-yard line. 8.5 minutes left to go. We're in the third quarter here. Mile High Stadium, temperature mid-70s. 40% chance of rain, the forecast, but it's held off. Humidity about 50%. On the reverse, Steve Watson. 28-yard line. So Watson picks up 5. It'll be third down and 2. Randy McClanahan, who recovered the fumble for the Oakland Raiders at the 31 a few moments ago, makes the tackle.
Number 83, Ted Hendricks, been around a long time, and he knows they're trying to trick you sometime. He knows that something is wrong. It starts the other way. He knows right now, with that tight end trying to block him inside, there's no way that they're going that way. And here he is fighting off the blocks of one man, Egloff, gets involved in the tackle. They did make a few yards gain, but if Ted Hendricks had chased that play, it would have been a real big game.
Third down and 2. Tight end in motion, comes back to block, gets the flow. Perro. He needs to get to the 30-yard line. There would not be a measurement. If the ball touches the mark at the 30-yard line, it is automatic because he started at the 20 following the touchback. This is an instance they would never use the chains. It's simply where the football is played. And like I said, they're going to bring out the chains. No, they're not supposed to do that. If it touches the chalk mark, it's a first down. If it doesn't touch it, it is not. It is that simple. Does not need the chain. I don't care what he says.
Send that word down, Charlie. From now on, they don't have to use those chains. You're right. Started on the 20-yard line. But it didn't make it by a whole lot.
That's right.
They didn't ask you that, right? It's just you made it.
Just if you made it. First down, Denver, their own 30-yard line. In the first half, Denver had possession 20 minutes to Oakland's 10.
Now they got 3 wide receivers in the game.
Broncos with the same time pattern in the second half. Out of the backfield, flag is down. Pass is complete to Peros. Where it is thrown by the umpire, who stands right behind the defensive line, and normally is an offensive holding call. It'll be illegal use of hands against the Oakland Raiders. Automatic first down.
They had 3 wide receivers in the ballgame that time. They had no tight end, so you knew that Morton was going to go to the air.
I can't understand the conference with Craig. It's an automatic first down, a defensive foul. And you just take the first down. Here's the call.
Illegal use of the hands. Number 72, defense, automatic first down.
John Matuzak gets the call. Could well be, particularly from where the flag was thrown, that he hit the offensive man and a hand slide up, and if they hit the helmet or above the shoulder, then it's an automatic call.
Yeah, they've eliminated the head slap in football for the defensive lineman. And when they did that, they took a big weapon away from the defensive lineman.
Penalties are about even, as you can see. First down, Denver, their own 35-yard line. Preston, 40, first down, fumble.
Paul Howard
Scramble
fell
for
on
the ball, but
yeah.
they may mark it dead at the 46 if he had possession again, where the elbow hit, and it is jarred loose by the ground. And that'll be the call. It'll be a first down at the 46-yard line.
Take a look at this play right now. He really accelerates right now. Good block by Classic, number 62. He's been doing a good job all afternoon against that fine Oakland Raider defensive unit.
The reason it is not a fumble, Dave Preston had control of the ball when his elbows hit the ground. That is an automatic call. Denver now at their own 46-yard line. First down. Haven Moses in motion. Preston to the right side. Pressed it to the Oakland 46-yard line. A gain of 8. It will be 2nd and 2. Lester Hayes makes the tackle. Let's go to New York. An update. Here's Brian Gumbel. Brian?
Stop by Hayes. Second down. 2.
All right, we're back. We'll try and get to Brian for that update in a moment. Larry Canada stopped at the line of scrimmage. The Oakland 46. It was 2nd and 2. It'll be 3rd down and 2. And Johnny Robinson, the middle guard, the rookie from Louisiana Tech, replacing Reggie Kinlaw as the man who brought him down.
He shot through there and got about 3 yards penetration. He guessed right. He went to the left side and got penetration, ran right into the ball carrier.
You've got an update on the score?
The Snake is doing it. He's passed for a couple of touchdowns, the latest a 20-yarder to Kenny Burrow. Right now, Houston leading Los Angeles 20-17 in the 3rd quarter.
And here it is, Denver 9, Oakland 7, 3rd quarter. 4:55 left to go in that period. Morton throws, pass is complete. It'll be a 1st down as Osteen drops David Moses. Moses caught it at the Oakland 40-yard line.
Greg Morton going back to throw. They're trying to put the pressure on him. A good job of blocking by that offensive line. He gets it off to Haven Moses. Now what's going to happen is Osteen's trying to strip him of the football. But you can see right there that Haven Moses is a veteran. He's got both arms wrapped around that football.
At the Oakland 40-yard line, 1st down Denver. They started this drive back on the 20. Barrows. He'll be dropped for a loss. It'll be a loss of 3, 2nd and 13 as we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
Tackle by Hendricks. Loss of 2.5 yards.
Ted Hendricks made the last tackle. This is Charlie Jones, Lynn Dawson. We're in Denver, Mile High Stadium. The score, the Broncos 9, the Super Bowl champion Oakland Raiders 7, with 3:45 left to go in the 3rd quarter. All of the scoring in the 1st half.
Oakland jumped out to a 7-0 lead. Denver came back, a touchdown and a field goal, and that's where it stands right now. 9-7, Denver.
Almost intercepted. Otis McKinney tried to pick it off. Egloff, the intended receiver, next Saturday on NBC's Baseball Game of the Week. Defendant-minded Montreal Expos meet the surprising Cubs in Wrigley Field. Some of you will see the Yankees against their traditional rivals, the Boston Red Sox. So check your local listings for the game in your area next Saturday at 2 p.m. 3rd down and 13 at the Oakland 43-yard line.
Shotgun. And one of the reasons for the shotgun, besides the fact that Morton is back there already, and he doesn't have to go back in the pocket, is they spread out their receivers and their backs. The receivers can get downfield and in a pattern in a hurry.
Incomplete. Wade Manning, the intended receiver, and Morton threw before the break. Either that or Manning didn't look soon enough.
Manning didn't get one thing around that's very important. That's where that 83 stands on his headgear. He's got to get his head around. Pressure is coming. You can see that Martin's coming up the middle. He had to get rid of the football. He was looking at a defensive man. He never got his head turned around.
And Lester Hayes collided with Burgess Owens, and Lester shaking him just for a moment. He's okay. He comes out. Prestridge will be kicking. He'll be going for that left-hand corner again, as he did earlier in the ballgame. Ira Matthews is back for a possible return. That's dangerous when he goes to that right-hand corner because he can slice it off, but he's successful. They'll mark it out at the 9-yard line. A very tough punt by Luke Prestridge. We've got a timeout. 3:19 left to go, 3rd quarter. Denver 9, Oakland 7. We'll be back in a moment.
Can you afford 6,676 tank Cobra, Datsun 280ZX?
An injury report on Bob Chandler of the Oakland Raiders. He was hit in the abdomen and has been taken to the hospital just to check him over.
A couple of scores. Kenny Stabler's thrown for 2 touchdown passes right now. Houston leading Los Angeles 20-17 3rd period. Buffalo shutting out the Jets 24-0 3rd period.
Oakland from the 9-yard line. Van Egan gets the call. Latimer and Gradishar are there for the defense. Did you notice the plane carrying the banner? It said, "Marry me, Debbie," signed Love Scott. I guess Scott couldn't get tickets, and Debbie had the tickets. There it is. Sorry about that, Scott, but I guess Debbie is here and you couldn't get in the stadium. But that's the way it goes in Denver. A gain of 5 to the 14 will be 2nd down and 5. 13,000 on the waiting list for season tickets here. Van Egan, 21-yard line, 1st down. Bob Swinson and Randy Gradishar with the tackle. So the Oakland Raiders not looking that good at this point, although still in the ballgame as far as the scoreboard is concerned, 9-7. Apparently are going to be a little bit discretionary. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Denver Broncos and the National Football League is prohibited. Flag is down. Pass is complete to Kenny King. Aaron Kyle with the tackle. Holding against Oakland. All the breaks in the second half have been going against the Raiders.
And they're still just 2 points down. That's what I say about the Oakland Raiders. You know, don't fall asleep on them because they can hit you in a hurry. They've got Cliff Branch out there, and they've got Kenny King, 2 home run hitters. That time he got the ball to Kenny King. He was looking to the other side. He was trying to work on Perry Smith, who's replacing Lewis Wright, who's out for the rest of this ball game with a leg injury.
I have just been informed by NBC Central in New York City that the reason that we are unable to bring you our usual amount of updates from Brian Gumbel is a telephone line problem between Los Angeles and New York City, and that would be the telephone line that we patch into. They're busily working on it, and if possible, we'll try and rejoin Brian Gumbel for the updates that you have grown used to on the NFL telecast on NBC. Kenny King, right side.
Picked up
Don Latimer with the tackle. Go ahead, Lynn.
Latimer got the tackle, but that man, number 53, Randy Gradishar, shot through the line. He got an arm on Kenny King, didn't bring him down, slowed him down enough for the rest of the defensive line or defensive players could get over and make the tackle.
That is Bob Chandler. He is being taken to the hospital. He was hit in the abdomen and has become nauseous. That is the report. Apparently it's nothing serious. We certainly hope that it's nothing serious, but they do not want to take any chances.
They said as a precautionary measure, they're taking him to the hospital.
14-yard line. 2nd and 17. Out of the backfield is Kenny King. To the 22-yard line, so it'll be 3rd down. And around 9, possibly 10 yards to go as Billy Thompson makes the tackle.
That time, Denver was really bending back, and the linebackers flew back into pass coverage. Plunkett had no choice but to go to the back in front of the linebackers, hoping that maybe Kenny King could break a couple of tackles and come up with a big gain. They did get some gain, but they still got 9 yards to go for a 1st down.
That is a percentage choice that he's looking for.
That's right. Go to the open man. Don't try to force it someplace where a man is covered.
3rd and 9. Again, it is Kenny King. Out of bounds, short of the 1st down. Bob Swinson and Perry Smith with the tackle.
He did not want to go to Kenny King, but he had no choice. He was looking downfield. He had pretty good protection. Looks like sufficient time to get the ball downfield, but there isn't anybody open. Now, rather than trying to force a ball to somebody that is covered, get it to somebody who is open and hope perhaps they can break a tackle. He breaks the tackle right there. But Bob Swinson coming in, knock him out of bounds.
Ray Guy will be punting. This is his 5th punt of the ball game, and his average is 61.25 yards. He has put on a clinic and out about the football. Manning fields it at the 30-yard line. Has a gain of 1 yard on the return to the 31. So Denver will take over on their own 31. That punt covered only 42 yards. Denver 9, Oakland 7. We'll be back in a moment. Let's go back a few minutes in the ball game where Bob Chandler got hurt. Here's what happened.
Perry Smith quick out pattern. He makes the catch. Perry Smith coming up. Look at his headgear. It was right in his stomach. And you can see right now the reaction to Bob Chandler that he's in pain. And as a precautionary measure, taking him to the hospital for checkup.
Denver at their own 31-yard line, first down. I want to ask you a question about that. Dave Preston. A gain of 5 is a 32nd flag.
I think it's going to go against Oakland. A late hit. Preston coming around the right side. Smith right there, 37 is Lester Hayes. 77.
Joe Campbell.
Joe Campbell hit him. I don't know whether he's the one they're going to call it on.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 77, defense, late hit, first down.
So with the penalty, the ball goes to the Oakland 49-yard line. It'll be a first down. And we'll get back to that hit on Bob Chandler after this play. Mortensen's 5 on the pattern. He drops it off to Tony Reed, who drops the ball.
Oh, Tony Reed was looking downfield, and he knows it. He made a catch in the first quarter that he picked up a first down, but that time his head was looking downfield, and the ball hits him right on the numbers. Mort going back. He's surveying the defense right now. He knows where his offensive players are, so now he comes right to Tony Reed. Look where his head is. Look where his head is. First things first, though.
Now, just quickly, the injury to Bob Chandler. They could have called a penalty on Perry Smith for spearing, hitting with the helmet. It was not called.
No, it's never been a real tough call to call him on that because it was not flagrant by any means.
No, because he was trying to make the tackle, but it's still a borderline call. Barrow breaks it down the sideline. 37-yard line, first down.
Quarter ends that Denver's doing it to Oakland.
That is the end of the quarter with the score, Denver 9 and Oakland 7. And we'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
John and Potts.
Welcome back to Mile High Stadium. This is Charlie Jones, Lynn Dawson. We start the fourth quarter. Denver with the lead, 9-7 with the ball on the Oakland 37-yard line. Moses comes in motion. Preston fumbles the ball. There's a scramble for it. Oakland comes up with it. And again, they rule the ball dead, saying that he had control when the elbow hit the ground. If that happened and the ball pops loose, the play is dead.
They've been doing a very good job recently on the ground. Preston coming through. He's hit. He has the football. He goes down right there. That's close.
That is close.
That's close, Charlie.
Because
62, Tom Glassick has been doing a very good job all afternoon. He gets his man, pushes him backward. For Denver, it was a good call. For Oakland, it was not.
2nd and 9. Tony Reed. 32-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Next Sunday, join host Brian Gumbel at 12:30 Eastern Time for NFL 81. All the news, highlights, and late-breaking information, all the games. Another doubleheader Sunday featuring a tough AFC Central battle as the Houston Oilers meet the Cleveland Browns. So check your local listings for the games in your area following NFL 81 at 12:30 Eastern Time. We've got a timeout. 13:57 left to go here. The score is Denver 9 and Oakland 7. We'll be back to Mile High Stadium in just a moment.
Lots of motor Royals.
He's been playing very well. You take a look here. I think really it's number 60, Paul Howard, his own teammate, that fell over him.
He's been replaced by Glenn Hyde from the shotgun. Screen right side, and he overthrows Dave Preston. Is that a tough pass? Because in that same situation, the right flat, he has been high to Preston 3 or 4 times.
Well, that was a tough angle that Preston gave him to get the ball to him. It had to be thrown exactly right. And he didn't want to throw it short for fear that The defense could come in there and pick it off. And he was getting pressured, so he had to get it out there. Just threw it too high.
Westridge is in to hold. 41-yard line. An attempt of 51 yards by Fred Steinfort, who is hit from 29, missed from 23. It is no good. It is off to the right. So Steinfort, who has the distance, simply the aim has been off, either to the left or to the right. We've got a timeout, and we'll be back in a moment.
1951, Lorenzo.
13 and a half minutes left to go in the ball game.
And actually, Denver has been dominating this football game, but they are only 2 points ahead at this stage. Oakland, as I said before, is a very explosive football team.
Raiders have the ball. Fake. Pass is complete to Raymond Chester, and Chester is close to the first down at their own 43-yard line. The Raiders can strike so quickly. Radishar and Kyle were there for the defense.
Well, you can take a look right now that he's going back. He's being pressured, comes up. He has to get rid of it. He's got a man wide open, 88, Raymond Chester. And you can see what determination Raymond Chester had. He knew he was going to get hit, but he was going to deal out some punishment beside taking some.
First down.
Change came out for the measurement. It is a first down by the length of the football, so Oakland now at their own 43-yard line. Arthur Whittington and Mark Van Eeken are in the backfield. Morris Bradshaw and Cliff Branch are the wide receivers.
Buffalo Bills way out front, shutting out the Jets 31-0 in the third period.
Plunkett's pass is complete. Arthur Whittington caught it at the 48-yard line. They'll pick up 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 as Gradishar makes the tackle.
Oakland's history generally is not to throw the ball that much to the backs. They've had some great wide receivers, great tight ends down through the years, and they like to get the football to them because if you're going to throw the ball, they want to pick up 15, 18 yards, and occasionally maybe get the ball out to Cliff Branch and get 6.
Morris Bradshaw wide to the near side, Branch to the far side. Van Eeken.
Hand off to Van Eeken.
Picks up the first down. Denver 46-yard line.
Anderson 46. It's a first down.
Last couple of plays for the Oakland Raiders, you can see somewhat of a different attitude because they've always been known as a physical football team. And this has been a very physical football game. And if Oakland's going to get the job done, those guys up front are going to have to do the job.
So it is the perfect confrontation of the fourth quarter. The Oakland Raider offense against the Denver Broncos defense. First down, Denver 46. Whittington. 42-yard line. He picks up 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. Tom Jackson makes the tackle. So Oakland now picking up 4, 5, or 6 yards on every play.
See that surge at that offensive line is moving out, and they're taking control of the line of scrimmage. I look for Denver now maybe to switch up, maybe do some stunting, some blitzing, hoping to get some penetration into the backfield and disrupt the blocking of that offensive line.
And meanwhile, on the far side, you have number 21, Cliff Branch. Bradshaw wide on the near side. Whittington to the 37-yard line. 5 more yards. Third down and about 1.
Talking about the offensive line, are they moving them out? Are they controlling the line of scrimmage? There they are, the right side. Mickey Marvin, number 65. Look at the surge by that offensive line. They're moving them back. There's no penetration by Denver. There is great pursuit, though, by the Denver Broncos. You can see there's about 5 or 6 of the defensive men around that ball carrier. They still picked up yardage. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 1 situation. 3 tight ends in the ball game for the Oakland Raiders.
Third down and 1.
Pass.
Play action. Incomplete. Derek Ramsey, the intended receiver. The Raiders gambling on a 3rd and 1 at the 37-yard line. Steve Foley with the coverage.
Play action pass. He's going deep, trying to get to Derek Ramsey, the tight end. he had a step or so on Tim Foley. Also, they had Arthur Whittington running out of the backfield, flying down the sideline.
And once again, we have been informed by NBC in New York that the reason that we are not able to go to Bryant Gumbel in the update is an AT&T problem between Los Angeles and New York. 3 tight ends are in. Whittington trying for it on a 4th and 1. Could be the turning point of the ball game if the Broncos held. Could be a turning point for the Raiders if they picked it up. Big gamble with just over 10 minutes to go.
Here it is. 4th down, 1 to go. Randy Gradishaw getting in, getting up around the shoulder pads, stopping the momentum going forward, and stopping the first down, and turning the ball back over the Denver Broncos. I'm sure that what Oakland was feeling is that's why they went for that 3rd and 1 situation, going for the 6 points, is that even if they don't make it, they can come back out on 4th down and pick it up. They didn't make it that time. Big play by the Denver Broncos.
The Raiders come up about 6 inches shy of the first down. We've got a timeout with 10:09 left to go. The Broncos hold. They have the football. They have the lead.
Some people thought it was risky.
Dan Reeves, the new head coach of the Denver Broncos. Total offense thus far, Oakland 166 yards, Denver 318 yards. Harrell to the 42-yard line. He gets 6. It'll be 2nd and 4. Mike Davis with the tackle.
In all the first half, Oakland scored first. Denver coming back. Both those were passes. Raymond Chester catching a pass for the first touchdown, then Rick Upchurch catching a pass. The extra point was not good. Then a field goal, and that's it. 9-7. With 9:40 and counting down in the last quarter.
Changes in that offensive line. Kelvin Clark is now in. Tom Glassick has an injured left thigh. He's been replaced by Glenn Hyde. 2nd down. Watson in motion. Farrell. No gain. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Randy McClanahan makes the tackle for the Oakland Raiders.
Tackle by McClanahan.
Now we're getting into another 3rd down situation where they got to put that ball in the air.
5.5.
4th quarter score now. Houston still leading Los Angeles by the score of 20-17. Buffalo shutting out the Jets 31-0. 4th quarter.
Shotgun. Odom's in motion, stays to block. Morton's pass almost picked off. Tony Reed, the intended receiver.
By Davis.
Mike Davis was there for the Oakland Raiders, so it'll be 4th down and 5.
Mike Davis, you can recall, remember early in the first half where the ball hit him right in the stomach. He didn't come up with that one. He's probably saying, this isn't my day, but he made an excellent play to be there. And what Morton was looking for was the 5 yards, because he had both backs crossing and about 8 yards deep.
Ira Matthews set for the return. Luke Prestridge to kick. The ball taken on the hop downfield by Glenn Hyde. And we've got a timeout. 8 minutes, 29 seconds left to go. Denver holds on to a 2-point lead. Welcome back to the telecast. Glad they got all the problems fixed up. Okay, Oakland at their own 28-yard line. Prestridge's last kick covered 32 yards. First down Raiders, trailing by 2. 8.5 minutes left. Tight end Raymond Chester. Gain of 6.
Take a look at Morton. This is in the first half. Controversial play. Did he have both feet down inbounds? from this vantage point, it does not look like he had both feet in. But it still counts 6 points.
Back to live coverage, 2nd and 4. Oakland has their own 34-yard line. Rather conservative for the Oakland Raiders at this stage of the game.
That's Kenny King running with the football. You know, Charlie, I was wondering on that 4th down situation, they had Arthur Whittington in the ball game and ran with it, and he's a fine back.
This is the 38.
He weighs 180 pounds, and that man weighs 205 pounds. And I was just wondering why they're going to run the ball in a situation like that, why they didn't put Kenny King in the ball game.
Chains out for the measurement. It's a Raider first down.
It's a first
The
down.
Oakland 38-yard line.
There's some 25-pound difference.
And they were, what, 6 inches shy of the first down.
That's one of those cases, if you make it, you're right. If you don't make it, you're wrong.
Branch wide to the far side. Bradshaw to the near side. Bradshaw's open. Intercepted. Larry Evans with the interception. Bradshaw was open. Plunkett was scrambling, couldn't find him. First interception for the Broncos. Larry Evans pulls it down. First interception of the ball game.
That's one of those cases where Plunkett should have did one of two things. He was trying to force the ball someplace. Forcing the ball to somebody, throwing it almost underarm. Timmy, he gets away from the traffic here. He jumps outside. He's looking downfield to unload it on somebody. He should either put that ball under his arm and take off. And he threw it sideways.
Dave Preston out of bounds at the 22-yard line. A gain of 23. Mike Davis stopped it. Tony Reed and Larry Canada, now the running back.
Once again, the Broncos right down in scoring territory.
Haven Moses wide to the far side. Tony Reed. About the 17. Be 2nd and 5. Wayne Osteen with the stop.
7 minutes remaining in this football game. A touchdown would really put the heat on the Oakland Raiders. That would be at least an 8-point difference. They'd have to score twice, including a touchdown. But they must come away with some points.
Lester Hayes has single coverage on Haven Moses on the far side. Moses comes back in motion. The give is to Preston. About half a yard is all. Randy McClanahan stopped it. Messenger service, Steve Watson will be coming in.
2 wide receivers coming into the ball game. So it's pretty evident that Morton is going to have to get back probably in that shotgun formation to throw. Haven Moses, number 25, in motion. You think it's friendly down there? It's not friendly at all.
Dave Preston, 13 carries. He's picked up 71 yards rushing. 5 minutes, 48 seconds. Time remaining in the game. 3rd down 5. Preston again. Just inside the 50. 4th down and a couple. And Steinberg will be coming in. He has hit a field goal from 29 yards away. He has missed twice from 53 and 51 yards. Tom Glassick was back in that offensive line during that last serve. From the 22, a kick of 32 yards. It is no good. It is off to the left. So Steinford has missed 3 times. And we've got a timeout. 5:05 remaining. Breathing room for the Raiders. They trail by 2. 9-7. We'll be back.
A
K or a...
5 minutes and 5 seconds remaining. Don't forget, the NFL report will be updating everything that has happened today in National Football League. Oakland from the 20-yard line, 80 yards away from the Bronco end zone. Play action by Tucker. Has pressure. It is incomplete. He was trying to get it to Raven Chester and was about 5 to 6 yards short as Bryson Manor was putting on the pressure.
He was trying to get rid of that football. Play action pass. Faking and rolling out. He's going to get the pressure on him. Bryson Manor has a hold of it. Destroying Raymond Chester is out in that area.
And the officials had blown the play dead before he threw it. They are ruling that he was in the grasp of a defender for protection purposes. That was at the 10-yard line. So it'll be second down and 20.
Also a very quick whistle on that situation.
The Raiders may have taken more than 30 seconds on this play. That would take it back to the 5-yard line. It'll be second and 25, delay of game.
Number 16. Also, Charlie, he's going to have to go back into the end zone to throw. And if there's any type of a penalty by that offensive team inside the end zone, it's an automatic 2 points for Denver.
Oakland now from the 5-yard line. King and Jensen are in the backfield.
Fumble.
Denver has the ball. Don Latimer recovers the fumble. 14-yard line.
Kenny King, the ball carrier, going to the right side of the Oakland Raiders. Comes out, he makes a few yards, and he's hit right on all of that, the dirt where the infield is. Ball pops loose. Denver comes up with it, and once again, they are in, I should say, I was going to say automatic scoring territory, but the way things are going for the field goal kicker, it isn't that. Inside the 20-yard line at the 19-yard line. 4:19 remaining in this football game.
Let's put it inside the 15 at the 14, okay? First down. Now it's up to the Oakland Raiders. Can they stop the Broncos again? On the delay, Preston gets the call. A yard, and that's about it. Randy McClanahan with the tackle. We're moving on the 4-minute mark of time remaining in the game.
8 to go.
Call it the 12-yard line, so it'll be second down 8.
Two tight ends in the ball game, which indicate they're going to run, and there they go.
Hey, Preston. 6-yard line. He has 6. It'll be third down and a couple. Dave Browning stopped it.
2 yards to go.
Jim Wright, the tight end, bringing the play into Craig Morton. Third down and 2.
I'll tell you something, Charlie, they can cross everybody up with a play pass here. I don't know whether they will, but they're positioned themselves right down there where it should be good footing for a field goal.
Preston does not make it. He is hit at the 5. He had to get to the 4. So it'll be fourth down and 1 with a field goal attempt upcoming.
Here it is, taking a look at it. Everybody is up there. All of the Oakland Raiders looking for the run. I was saying they could have called a play that, hoping maybe a play pass to get somebody open, get in for an easy touchdown, because you can't make a field goal from right there. They're what, at the 5-yard line at the present time? It'll be a 22-yard field goal. The 23.
An attempt of 23 yards. Steinfurt has hit from 29, and he's missed 3 times. And he misses. He misses. Steinfurt now has missed from 53, 51, 32, and 23 yards. He has hit from the 29.
And Charlie, that ball went out of there rather strangely because he isn't following through with his kick. He punched at that ball, and it went out as a spiral. Take a look at it here. Snap is good. The hold is down. He just punched at it. Can't see the ball, but it went out of there as spiraling.
So Oakland has the ball on their own 20-yard line, first down. 2:23 left to go. Denver leads by 2, 9-7. Plunkett to throw. He is sacked. Tom Jackson got him. The 5th sack of the ball game for the Denver Broncos.
That's what speed will do for you. Now here it is. A linebacker ran him down. Tom Jackson, number 57, has great speed for a linebacker. Got in there. Plunkett was on the move, hoping to get rid of the football. Jackson ran him down. Number 57, you're going to see him come into your picture right now. Van Egan was supposed to block him. He didn't handle him at all. Pushed him aside, went after Plunkett, and brought him down.
It will be 2nd and 16, but we have moved to the 2-minute mark. So we'll take a timeout. The Broncos lead by 2.
Let's do something romantic.
2 minutes to go in the ball game. The Bronco defense with 5 quarterback sacks. Oakland 2nd and 16 on their own 14-yard line. They trail by 2.
That Denver defense, after the first score of Oakland, has really turned things around. They've really been putting the heat on Jim Plunkett. Head him open. Distant. Head him open.
Kenny King, the intended receiver, will be 3rd down and 16 from the Raiders' 14-yard line. All of the scoring in the first half. 1:55 left to go. 3 wide receivers now in for the Raiders. Cliff Branch, Malcolm Barnwell, Morris Bradshaw.
Well, you know what pressure is? It's 3rd and 16 with 1:55 to go, and you're down by 2.
Pass is complete. Arthur Whittington out of the backfield. 19-yard line, a gain of 5. It'll be 4th down and 11. Billy Thompson was there.
11 yards to go.
And that is the real estate out in front of the Raiders. 4th and 11, and they'll gamble for it. They have to. They might not get the ball back. 1:25 and counting. Time remaining. 4th and 11. Buck and roll. Pass is incomplete. Outstanding defensive play by Aaron Kyle, who stripped Barnwell of the ball. Or the Raiders would have had the first down.
Plunkett did his job. Jumped out of the traffic back there, got the ball out to the receiver. Those are the kind of catches you must make. This is a must situation. You can see he's buying time right now. Jumps out of the pocket. Now the receivers have to move. Don't stand still, but move. And he does hit his man right in the hands, and he's stripped of the ball. Aaron Kyle, number 22.
1:02 remaining. Denver at the Oakland 19-yard line. Both ball clubs with 3 timeouts remaining. Preston dropped for a loss. He'll lose 2. It'll be 2nd and 12. McClanahan makes the tackle. Raiders take a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining. 55 seconds left to go. A chance for us to remind you that the executive producer of NBC Sports is Don Omeyer. Football's coordinating producer is Ted Nathanson. Today's telecast has been produced by George Michael, directed by John Gonzalez. Technical director is Dick Roker, and associate director is Ray Banassi. Don't forget the NFL report. Time permitting, coming up right after this ball game is over. Brian Gumbel will be updating everything that has happened in the National Football League today.
And there's been a lot of unusual happenings, including this game right here. 9-7. Denver with the football. I believe prior to this football game, said that you hold the Oakland Raiders to 7 points. Didn't think it'd be true. But Denver has dominated this football game.
Second down and 12. Oakland 21-yard line. "55 seconds remain. Bootleg. And the pass. Oh, a terrible pass. Trying to get to Riley Odoms, and he dropped it in between 3 Oakland Raider defenders.
I don't understand that. If any time they were going to try something, it should have been down there. The last time when it was a third down situation, when they ran, I believe he ran Preston into the line. And try a play action pass, have one man out. If he's open, give him the ball. If not, throw it away.
Also, it stops the clock. There's 50 seconds remaining. Third down and 12.
You got to make Oakland utilize those timeouts.
From a shotgun. Inside handoff. Whistle sound. It was a 30-second violation. There's still 2 seconds on that clock. May have been movement by an interior lineman. As you know, from tackle to tackle, once you get set 3 or 4 point stance, you cannot move. If you do before the snap, it's an automatic call.
Also, Charlie, what about the field goals? You know, they've had problems kicking. Now they're taking it on back a little further. Red Steinfort has not had his day kicking.
He is 1 for 5. He's hit from 29 yards, but missed from 53 and 51. And most recently from 32 and 23 yards. Now an official's timeout. 47 seconds left on the clock. Down at 17.
You see the
26-yard line.
They were going to run that football that last time to make Oakland utilize a timeout. They had 2 timeouts remaining.
Preston sweep upside.
Flag is down.
21-yard line. A marker down stops the clock. A gain of 5. Ron Martin with the tackle. Pushing and shoving contest breaks out at the 20-yard line.
It looks like a mismatch. Mike Davis, the safety, going against offensive guard Tom Glassick. Which is good news. Glassick is back in the ballgame. He was out for a short while.
That is the hand of Al Davis, general managing partner, right there, Glassick. Got a Super Bowl ring on his little finger.
I don't know how you can get it to get their Super Bowl ring on your little finger.
I don't know, it's so big. All right, Fisher placed the ball at the 21-yard line. Would have been a sloppy ending to a great defensive battle. Field goal attempt. 28-yard line and attempt at 38 yards. No good from 38 yards out. So Steinfort now has hit only 1 of 6. And his last 3 are makeable. 32, 23, and 38 yards.
Now you can understand why some players say that the game shouldn't depend on a kicker. You fight, you scratch. whole ball game, and everything depends on a kicker. He's missed 6.
Missed 5, made 1. So Oakland still alive at their own 20-yard line.
They've all been very makeable field goal attempts also.
35 seconds left.
Oakland has 2 timeouts remaining. And they need to get into field goal range.
Lucky's pass, complete.
He'll get out of bounds. He'll get out of bounds.
King gets out close to the 31-yard line. And he'll have the first down. Stops the clock with 26 seconds. Play took 9 seconds.
Here it is. Plunkett going back to throw. The defense is really sagging. They're giving them the stuff inside. Now it's a good move by Kenny King. He's turning it on, but his objective is to get out of bounds and stop that clock.
They're bringing the chains out for the measurement. This I don't understand. They started at the 20-yard line after a missed field goal attempt. It's way across the 30.
Maybe the field tilts.
First down.
It can't tilt that far.
Still 2 timeouts remaining for the Oakland Raiders. And no points by Denver. Had they run the ball 3 times, Oakland would have been out of timeouts.
Plunkett to the 36-yard line.
Timeout.
They'll take a timeout right there. It'll be second down and 5 with 17 seconds.
Timeout.
Each play taking 9 seconds. That means they could get only a couple more in, maybe 3.
Can't do that anymore. He's got to get that ball up in the air. 17 seconds remaining in this football game. He's got to get it downfield.
And quickly.
Yes. You know, hoping, you know, 2 things can happen. You know, your man can come up with a great catch, or it could be pass interference on the defense.
Have you been keeping an eye on Cliff Branch?
I kept an eye on prior to the game.
Has he been going deep, though? Number 10 is Chris Barr.
Yeah, but they are really loose.
Yeah.
They know Cliff Branch. They don't want to give him. But what has to happen? They're rushing 3 men for the Denver Broncos on that defensive line. The offensive line of Oakland's got to hold out, and they've got to send somebody deep, really spread out that defense, and maybe hit somebody 25 yards downfield, 30 yards downfield.
Oakland now with 1 timeout remaining, second and 5 at their own 36-yard line. 17 seconds left on the clock. The Raiders have had their opportunities. The Bronco defense has turned them back. The Bronco offense has had their opportunities to bust it open, and you could almost say their offense has turned themselves back.
Well, yes, they've missed too many missed 5 makeable field goals.
Second and 5.
Let it go.
Kenny King, he'll get out of bounds. 42-yard line.
10 seconds remaining.
He'll pick up the first down. 10 seconds remaining. The play took 7 seconds. So they can get 2 more plays off.
Well, let's take a look and see where they've got to be in range for Barr. His range should be what, around 50 yards?
Yep.
So that means he'd have to kick it from the 40-yard line. So they'd have to get down somewhere in the area.
They need to pick up 20 yards right now. 15 to 20 yards to have a shot at it. And this is what they'll try and do. Plunkett.
Threw it away.
He looked, everybody was covered. 3 seconds left. Morris Bradshaw went deep. He was running out of time because if he waited just 3 more seconds, the game would be over.
He's got 1 more play. He's got to get into the end zone. Unless there's a penalty on the defense.
Defensive penalty would extend the period. Second and 10, Oakland 42.
You remember last year in Minnesota?
Certainly.
Ahmad Rashad, about 3 seconds to go.
Bounced it, juggled it, got it at the end zone. They took the division championship with that win.
I look for him to go to the right side.
because that's where Branch is. And he does. Like a convention, the Broncos come down with a football. 00 on the timer. Billy Thompson came up with a football for the Denver Broncos as time runs out. And that's it. From our game here, the final score, Denver 9, Oakland 7. We started off with an upset. This is Charlie Jones.
We welcome the Oakland Denver audience on NBC.